Welcome in to another fun little history lesson that we're going to be going through today. We've been doing a handful of these on the channel, whether it's a really important historical mission from Delta Force, something SEAL Team 6 did, anything in between. We've been having a ton of fun breaking down different historical events, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. It's been a little bit since we last had one. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about one of the most fascinating hostage rescue missions that the United States government has ever conducted, and that is the rescue of Jessica Buchanan. So there's a lot of backstory to go through here, and I'm gonna do my best to relay the rescue and the information surrounding the rescue of Jessica Buchanan as best I can. Keep in mind, there's parts of this rescue that still aren't fully available to the public. There are parts that are a little bit in a gray area. So I'm going to do my best, the best I can do with the information, the open source information that's out there about the rescue of Jessica Buchanan. So who was Jessica Buchanan? Well, Jessica Buchanan was an American citizen who was working for an aid organization when she was kidnapped and taken by Somali pirates. She was also taken with a man named Poul, or however you pronounce it, he's Danish, Hagen Hookstead. I apologize if I'm absolutely butchering that name, and it's not my intent, but again, not exactly a name or the kind of name I would be overly familiar with. So they were taken by Somali pirates. Now, keep in mind that we've had many issues over the years with Somali pirates, none more famous than the Captain Phillips situation, where they took a container ship. SEAL Team 6 showed up, laid out some justice, got the captain back, and it was really an incredible mission that we'll also go through on that one. But on this one, there were three big issues that the United States government had to deal with and work out with the rescue of Jessica Buchanan. So Barack Obama's president. She's taken, I believe, in late 2011. So her rescue comes on January 25th, 2012. Obama had three reasons why the raid, which we're going to get into here very soon, why the raid was launched. Reason number one is they felt the intelligence they had was very solid. They knew the intel was good. And when you have good intel in a hostage rescue mission, you don't know when that hostage could get moved again. You don't know when more people might come in. You don't know if the enemy is going to reinforce itself. Good intel in a hostage rescue situation is very hard to come by. So when you have it, you have to act on it as quickly as you possibly can. So that's point number one, was the intel the Obama administration felt was golden, it was accurate, it was rock solid. So they were going to use that, one of three components, to do the raid. Component number two was there had been some backdoor negotiations between the United States government, middlemen, third-party people, and the Somalian pirates to see if they could get Jessica Buchanan back that way. Those had failed. So the component that we're talking about there, the second component is we know negotiations off the table. So far we have good intel. We believe we know where Jessica Buchanan is. We believe we know how many people are around her. And we believe we can get in and get out if necessary. That's one component. Now, we're not going to launch a mission, a highly dangerous, highly risky hostage rescue mission off of just one component. So now we have a second component, and that is negotiations have not worked. It is not unheard of for these pirate groups to sell off hostages or to have their hostages kidnapped by rival groups that are looking to then sell that person for money. So with negotiations gone, that means that we only have really the option of waiting, seeing if negotiations pick up, which I would never recommend because that is a recipe for absolute disaster, or we can launch the raid, which brings me to component number three. Jessica Buchanan's health was failing. She had a really bad infection that had been going on, I believe, by her own account for 3 months or so. I believe it was a UTI. Again, that is my understanding of the publicly available sourced information, that she had a urinary tract infection and that she rapidly lost weight. She was in really bad condition. And that was component number three. Time was of the essence. So remember when I said in component two, if negotiations have failed, you really have only two options left. You can wait, see if they spark back up, or you have to launch a raid. Well, with Jessica Buchanan, there was no time to wait because they needed to get to her while she was alive and they could still save her and turn her life around. So Obama authorizes a raid. Say whatever you want about Obama. Say whatever you want about the former president. Have whatever opinions you want. he makes a decision, what I believe is a gutsy decision, that he is going to send in SEAL Team 6 into Somalia, and they are going to conduct a hostage rescue mission, which is the meat of the story. So how did they do it? Did they drive in? Did they take helicopters in? No, 24 assaulters from Blue Squadron of DevGru/SEAL Team 6. Now remember, there's 4 assault squadrons in DevGru, SEAL Team 6, just like there's 4 assault squadrons on Delta Force. And then obviously you have a lot of support elements as well within those groups. So they fly in on one plane. They fly in on one plane, I believe. It might have been 2, but I believe it was 1. That might be in that gray area where information's a little bit not crystal clear because they don't want to give away tactics. 24 assaulters from SEAL Team 6 parachute down into the area of Somalia. They know Jessica Buchanan is being held. They then walk to the target area where a fierce gunfight breaks out. There is nonstop shooting. There's nonstop blasting. There's 9 pirates on the scene where Jessica Buchanan's being held. They immediately engage those pirates with the swiftness and accuracy that you would expect from a Tier 1 element like SEAL Team 6. The only team in the world that's better at hostage rescue is Delta Force. SEAL Team 6 went for this mission. That's probably more than anything that Africa just really become SEAL Team 6 area of operations. It's not because Delta wasn't competent or capable. This was just where SEAL Team 6 was operating, and they were operating at a very high and efficient level. They kill all of the pirates. They shoot all 9 of them without any, casualties of their own, and they find Jessica Buchanan in a room. I believe her eyes are covered. I believe she had her hearing obstructed to some degree, and from the telling of her own version of events, she could hear come in. They were grabbing her. They were trying to get her up, and at one point, she hears an American accent that to some variation asks if she's Jessica Buchanan, or they're trying to confirm her identity, because you have to remember in a hostage rescue, and I don't want to get too much into the nitty gritty here, you don't know when you go into a hostage rescue that the one person you're looking for is always going to be there. There could be multiple hostages. In this situation, the pirates have taken 2 people. Now we're focusing on Jessica Buchanan because she's the American. But when you go into a hostage rescue, you have no idea what you're going up against. You might find a bunch of people. You might find nobody. I mean, we've done the interview with Chris Fettis, who talked on the record about how they did a hostage rescue mission where they narrowly missed their target. You can obviously watch that on the channel as well. They say to her in an American accent to get her identity. She confirms who she is. I don't know the exact words that were said, but she says, and this is one of the most chilling parts of the Jessica Buchanan raid, she says to him, once they confirm her identity, they say, "We're the United States military. You're safe. We're here to take you home." And they immediately pick her up, and they're on the move with her. So now these 24 commandos, they've got the jackpot. They've got the VIP person, the precious cargo, if you will. And they are an all-out dead sprint to what is going to be the extraction zone where helicopters are coming. At this point, they worry the pirates' QRF, Quick Reaction Force, has heard all the gunfire and they might be more people coming. So they set Jessica Buchanan down. They get in a circle around her. She's open about this. This is on the record. And they get on top of her and they wait in a defensive position to start smoking more pirates if they show up. Pirates never do show up. The only ones that are killed are the 9 that were there. And the helicopters show up. They load her on a helicopter. Now, their faces are covered. They're in gear. I believe she claims to this day she has never seen their faces. She did not know who they were. They immediately, people on the helicopter start administering medical aid to her, which she then is continue to get treatment on the way, and the SEALs eventually go their own way in what was, quite frankly, nothing short of an absolutely incredible hostage rescue mission. And it's incredible for a lot of reasons. Number one, they took contact. They had to shoot their way in. It wasn't a situation where they could just walk right in with no resistance. They killed 9 people. They shot 9 bad guys. If you kidnap an American citizen and we got to come get you, odds are that you're leaving in a body bag. That's just the fact of the matter. It was also very difficult because they had to parachute in. Anytime you do a parachute mission, listen to anyone I've interviewed. Listen to Chris. Listen to Jeff Teagues talking about parachuting into Panama. Parachuting onto a target, if you will, creates its own different set of challenges, problems, and things you got to be aware of. And then again, the time was of the essence. They had to move. If they missed her, if the pirates had moved her, maybe she doesn't get out alive. Fortunately, the good guys won the day. SEAL Team 6, 24 assaulters from Blue Squadron, parachuted out, took down the bad guys, rescued Jessica Buchanan, successfully extracted. She was able to get medical attention, and it was, for all intents and purposes, a rather smooth hostage rescue, even though there was a lot of shooting, there was a lot of blasting. And I would just give this warning to anyone thinking about kidnapping an American citizen. Whether it's Delta Force or SEAL Team 6, you best believe we have the resources, the means, and the resolve to come get our people anywhere in the world. And when our guys show up, when the men with green eyes show up, the time for negotiations are over, and bodies are going to hit the floor. Bad guys are going to hit the floor, as it should be. So that is the story of Jessica Buchanan. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned it. Make sure to like and subscribe this video. It helps the channel. It helps people learn a little bit more about American history. And I will see you all next time.